Founder Matthew Primous. And that's another thing, Ken. You gotta choose to believe God. So I had bills, I had debt, and not too much, but had some. And student debt. And I began to pray. I began to say, Lord, you promised to do this. You promised more financial blessings. You promised more breakthrough. You promised to deliver me. You promised to bring out. And then the Spirit of the Lord just came to me. He said, remember, he who started a good work in you is faithful to complete it. Remember, God is the blessing. Remember, God cannot lie. He has to tell the truth. Remember, all things are possible for him that he can do all things but fail. That he can do all things but fail. That God can do the impossible. What you think he can't do, he can do. And then I begin to say, I believe God. I believe God will pay my bills off. I believe God my debt will be paid up. I believe God my loans will be paid up. I believe God. I believe God. I'm going to believe to the very end. And if I don't see it, I'm going to believe he'll do greater things. Because he said, greater is he that's within you and more power than he that is in the world. If the devil take that, the Lord will give me something greater. That he'll give me greater blessings, greater healing, greater deliverance, greater salvation. And that's what you got to believe, that the Lord will give you greater things. And say, I believe God. I believe God that my tithe is not in vain. I believe God that my offering is not in vain. I believe God that when I give to the poor, he's going to bless me. I believe God that when I give to charities that he's going to bless me. I believe God when I pay my bills on time that I'm going to get an increase. I believe God that when I work, that God's going to bless my work and give me the increase. Because the Bible says some sow and some plant, but it's God that gives the increase. I believe God to do more than more than I can see. I believe God to do more than I can think. I believe God to do more than what I know. I believe God. I believe God. I believe God. I'm not going to believe the lies of the devil. I believe God. I'm not going to believe what I see. I believe God. I'm not going to believe what I hear. I'm going to believe God. I'm going to believe God no matter what. And if God said he ain't going to do it, it won't be done. But if God said there's a way out of no way. There's a way out of it. There's a way of a breakthrough. There's a way of a breaking of day. There's a way of deliverance. There's a way of salvation. There's a way of great sustenance. And there's a way of prosperity. And there's a way of righteousness. I'm going to believe God. I'm going to believe God. I'm going to believe God. I'm going to take his word. And I'm going to hide it in my heart. And I'm going to repeat it every time the devil says it can't be done. I'm going to say, I believe God. When he tried to put in doubt, the devil tried to put in doubt, I'm going to say, I believe God. When the devil tried to put in worries, I'm going to say, I believe God. When the devil tried to put in fear, I'm going to say, I believe God. I'm going to tear down those walls of lies. That Jericho that the devil keeps trying to build around my home, build around my job, build around my family. I'm going to tear it down by saying, I believe God. Just like with Joshua and the children of Israel, they marched believing God. That's why the walls came down. I'm going to believe God. I'm going to believe him at what he said. I'm going to believe him with all my heart. I'm going to believe him with all my might. I'm going to believe him with all my strength. I'm going to believe him with all my soul. I'm going to believe him with all my thoughts. I'm going to believe him with all my heart. I'm going to believe him with an undivided heart. I'm going to believe God. 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 I'm going to hear his voice. And when God says it can't be done, then it can't be done. When God said that's not my blessing, it's not my blessing. When God said that's not my healing, it's not my healing. But I'm going to believe God. I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm going to believe God. I'm going to take him at his word. I'm going to believe God. If God said there's a way, then there's a way out of no way. way. If God said I could get through, I'm going to get through. If God says that wall going to come down, it's going to come down. I bind that spirit that is trying to take your blessing. I bind that spirit that is trying to make you lose your mind. I bind that spirit that is trying to take your peace at night. I bind that spirit that's trying to take your rest. Believe God. So God said it, it shall be done. If God said it, it shall be done. If God said it, it shall be done. If God said it, it shall be done. God, all things work together for those that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. All things work together for the good of those who love God and who are called to his purpose. Greater is he that is within me and more power than he that is in the world. Greater is he that is within me and more power than he that is in the world. Greater is he that is in me and more power than he that is in the world. Though heaven and earth pass away, his word shall remain. Though heaven and earth pass away, his word shall remain. Though heaven and earth pass away, his word shall remain. I'm going to believe God. 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 And that Jericho got to come down. That Red Sea got to open up. That way out of no way got to come. The heaven and earth may pass away, but God's word will remain. I believe God. I believe God. I believe God. I believe God. No room for doubt. No room for worries. No room for fear. I believe God. I believe God. I believe God.